evening, everyone present here. This is Hithesh Reddy from second year CC branch, and today I'm here to present what is cloud computing, its features, and its advantages. I'm also going to discuss a real life example where cloud computing plays a crucial role. Now, first of all, what is cloud computing? Before going deep into the topic, first of all, let us know what is meant by the word cloud computing. Many of us may have heard of the term like cloud or cloud computing in some point of our life. Cloud computing. This is a combination of two words, cloud and computing. So by looking at the words, we can say it means like computing over the cloud. Okay, this doesn't make any sense. So let us go in some other approach to know what is cloud computing. So for that, let us divide the cloud computing into two parts. So we'll get the answers for what is cloud and what is computing. Cloud means which is referring to something that is running on the internet. That means maybe a software, a service, or any other thing. And computing means using operations of the computer to perform a task. So basically, if you combine both of them together, we'll get a meaning like computing, using the computer operations to perform a task over the internet. So we can say cloud computing is a service which will provide us the computers to work over the internet. Like with this, we can work with the computers without even owning them. So coming to the topic, I've said that cloud computing means computing over the cloud. Like we are using some others computers, but whose computers are going to use over the internet? It's not like we're going to use some random person's computer to do our task. If you do that, then we'll be led straight to jail. So whose computers are going to use? So we're going to use computers of cloud providers. Now, what are these cloud providers? Let me explain. Some companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and other cloud providers like Oracle built large data centers and servers in many cities all over the world. So what they do is they exactly give the computers with different features like different CPU, RAM, storage configurations. So and we can use those services and we can get our work done and we'll pay for what all services we use. So we don't have to pay any other extra money. And also this is a direct deal with the provider. So we don't have to do anything like we don't have a middleman or something so that they can charge us more. So this kind of thing is very helpful for many people. Like if you take one example, like we students have a laptop. Maybe we have a 16 gigabytes of RAM in it. So our daily dose of works like assignments, videos, watching videos, or doing some Word documents is enough. But if you want to pull off a task like maybe some compute task where we need 32 gigabytes of RAM, minimum of that, then we can just change the laptop for just one task, right? So what we can do is we can rent a computer from the cloud, complete our work, and then pay for what all the things we have used. And as simple as that. We don't have to change the whole laptop for just one task which you're performing maybe hardly once or twice in our life. So I've discussed about in practical case earlier. It can be used in that way, but cloud computing is meant to be used for more complex and more difficult tasks. If a person or an enterprise needs a server, then they have two ways to deploy it. First one is, as usual, like everyone does, is establishing a server, like physical server with the computers and all the networking and the heat management, the electricity and all. This has many advantages, like we have the full control over the computers in the server and we'll be having a physical access to the servers and many more. But we have some cons as well. Like the maintenance of the servers needs a specialized team and the management also needs a team, and which is not easy, and they should be making constant checks all over the day to make sure that the servers are okay. The other problem is like performing the checks, and also like if you have some issue in some one computer, then it will be difficult to detect, and if you detect also, it will be difficult uh, to rectify the problem. So other main problem is networking. Networking also takes more time, and this also needs a specialized team to do so. And as the computers number of computers get increased, the networking becomes more complex, and simple mistakes can lead the whole server to go useless. So now coming to the second way of deploying a server, it is cloud deploying a server over a cloud. So there are many advantages of using cloud computing for deploying a server. Like the main advantage will be the cost. Like we pay for all the services we use, and we are not giving even a penny more than that. So this is more beneficial because we don't have to own the whole server and do some tasks. Although it is going to be cheaper than the physical servers. Also, there are many solutions provided by the cloud services or cloud providers, we can say. They give simple solutions to the complex setup. Like we can say, take one example as Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a tool which is used to orchestrate many computers. Like to say in layman words, we can say that it is managing all the computers in one single cluster. Like it is a very powerful thing, and this is difficult to deploy in each and every computer. So what happens is all the cloud providers provides us with the Kubernetes feature inbuilt in the computers so that we can use it and do the task easier. There are many other tasks like this. And the other advantages of cloud server is we can scale the server dynamically. That means if you have less load, then there will be less computers in the server, and if there is more load, then in that instance itself, some more computers will be scaled, will be deployed to the server, and at every point of time we'll be having same amount like we'll be having correct amount of computers so that we'll not be paying more amount and we'll not be paying less amount. So we don't have to compromise in either performance or expenditure. Both will be optimal here. So also in a cloud server, we can select the type of the computer to be used. Like it provides many computers with many specifications like RAM, GPU, network performance, CPU speed, and all. So we can change this for each and every task. And this is not the case with the physical server, because in physical server, if we take one kind of server computer, then we have to take that kind of computer to all the tasks, which will not be optimal in all the cases. Okay, now as we are done with the advantages, there is nothing in the world without any cons. So even cloud computing have some of them. Like if the first one would be like if some company have delicate information, which should not be given to the public, then they may not opt for the cloud server because it is not 100% secure in all the cases. And also, if a person needs to connect to the server, then they have to connect through the Wi-Fi or to the internet, and it should be through the secure shell protocol. And that may be laggy sometimes due to some lower network performance. And also, the server downtime should also be taken care because they are the big data centers and they have some downtime. So they should be taken care, and they offer some solutions for that, and which will be discussed later. And also each cloud provider has some unique features in them. Like if for the first task, we need some service which is provided by AWS. Then for the second task, we have to go for the Azure. Then we should change the provider, and which is not an easy task. And there are also many other disadvantages. Coming to optimizing this, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Now we have seen the disadvantages of cloud computing. Now there are many ways which can be used to optimize the cloud computing. So this is called hybrid server, where we'll use both the discussed servers like the physical server and the cloud server. So this can solve many problems. So the main advantage is the data privacy. Main disadvantage of cloud computing was the data privacy, and we can overcome it by using the hybrid server. Like only the database servers will be saved in the physical servers, and all the other servers like the web servers and all will be uh, deployed in the cloud itself, so that the data will be secure and also the cost will be optimal. And cloud providers have the data centers all over the world, so this is used to reduce the latency and the downtime. Downtime can be stopped, and as a service has to be maintained. So for that, duplicate of a server is used. So many duplicates of one kind of server are used, so that if one server goes to the maintenance and goes to downtime, then the other one can perform and can reduce the downtime of our project. So till now, I've discussed about the cloud computing in general. Now let us dive into the details of global leader of cloud computing, the Amazon Web Services, or shortly called AWS. AWS is a cloud provider from Amazon. It is the global leader in cloud computing with almost 50% of the total market share, with Microsoft Azure and Google GCP following it. When we take the word streaming platform, we'll get one name in our mind, that is Netflix. And okay, maybe some of you thought about Prime also, but now I'm talking about Netflix. This leading platform, Netflix, is fully deployed on AWS, and it is working very well without any issues. Also, when Netflix changed from the physical server to the AWS server, it has saved them a lot of capital, and also at each and every point they'll be having optimal number of computers, so that the performance is also not compromised. Also, the cloud storage service Dropbox was originally built on AWS itself. So let us know how this AWS actually came into the picture. AWS was first launched as Amazon's internal service in 2002. In 2002, AWS was first introduced, but not as a cloud computing platform, but as an internal service for the company. And in 2003, the plans were made to launch it as a public service. And in 2004, AWS was launched to the public, but it had many limited features. So in 2006, they relaunched the AWS with some more features and services. And then many companies like Netflix, Dropbox, NASA started to use the services from AWS. There are many advanced tools and features on AWS, which makes it the leader of the cloud computing. AWS has more than 300 kinds of instances. In AWS, computers are named as instances. Many kinds of storage options, database management tools, and many other. Also, AWS is spread all over the world with 216 points of presence, or we can say 216 data centers in 86 cities over 42 countries. So this makes sure that any user from any point can use the computers without having the higher latency issues. Now, as I mentioned before, let us discuss about the real world scenario where cloud computing is used. So cloud computing is used in many cases, like deploying a web server which requires so much bandwidth, and deploying a game server to run some complex computing power, which needs a computing power, complex algorithms like machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and other algorithms. Also to create an environment for the workers of the organization. Like, I would like to explain this. Like creating an environment for the workers means there are two kinds of groups in the companies, basically, like developers and operations. So each of them requires some specific permissions, and that should be given by the admin itself. So those groups can be created, and each user can be created. They can be given permissions, and like each individual person can be given some permissions. Each group can be given some permissions, so that they can create an environment where each person has the permission required for them for that role itself. So they'll not be having any other permissions which can mess with all the project, and they will not have any less permissions, like they will not be contacting the admin and asking like that, we don't have this permission, give me this. So they'll be having the exact number of permissions, so that they'll be able to work with the environment. And thank you for your listening. That's what I have for to deliver. Pranavan?